See anybody else. Not sure if you can hear and see me. I'm still so new to this. Good morning, Jamie. Where's Benji? They're looking for their little treats for having told me that it was time to go live. Benji's my little alarm clock. So, how are you all this morning? Good morning. Hi, Faye. So this morning is November 1st, the first day of November, and we have a show. We have such a busy month ahead of us. We're getting ready for the Christmas holidays. We've got Thanksgiving coming up for the Americans in the crowd, myself included. Let's see. We're putting away all of our Halloween projects and getting ready for the holidays and everything. We are going to, plus it's a new month, so that means new giveaways. And also, what else does the new month mean? Oh, it means schedules for Zoom calls. And what else? I'm thinking I have written down a huge list of all the things. So this week is going to be all about Thanksgiving. We're going to be doing a couple of cards from other people, like from different places, and but they're almost all free. So except for one is $1. So I wanted to point those out to you as just sort of, I'll mention it as we go along. But today we're going to be working on this really pretty card. Now, we've done this card before, but I think it's worth going over simply because I wanted to talk about the inside, the sentiment. So you'll see I did this sentiment with vinyl, but it took me forever to weed this vinyl because of the font that I chose. And I want to talk about these fonts because I went on a website this past weekend called Creative Fabrica, and they had some fonts that were on sale for $1. So I was like, ooh, $1 font, that's pretty cool. And I thought, oh, I'll show folks how to do this, and download fonts and everything. That will be good. But I tried to cut them out in vinyl and it didn't work. So I had to switch. Well, it was very hard. I will tell you, it's very hard. So I had to switch to iron-on. So we're going to actually use the Easy Press Mini to do the inside of the card from here. Good morning, Emily. So just so that you know, that's what we're going to be doing today. Let me just go over the schedule really quickly. So the way that it looks now is that today we're doing this one, the pie card. We're going to talk about fonts, downloading your own fonts into Design Space. Tomorrow should be the Birds Cards Pennant, which is free. And I did post a link on Facebook, but I will post it on YouTube so that you know. Wednesday, we're going to be going over to My Scrap Chick, and I would suggest that you do that today if you want to do this card. Let me go there so I can show you. So we're going to do this turkey pop-up card, which is only $1. And I would suggest while you are at My Scrap Chick, you also pick up the free file for the month of November, which is actually, where is it? It is a candy wrapper. And let's see, it's somewhere. Anyway, this sale that they've got going on where it's like $1, $2 type of sale is very good. And if you want to pick up a few really cute cards, you can do that. This one being that pop-up that it kind of folds in the middle. And so I figured let's do that so you guys can understand, because they're they seem to be everywhere these days. So I figured it would be good to start off with that. And it's only $1. But also the free card or the free file this month is for a candy wrapper. So when you're at My Scrap Chick, you can pick up both this and the free file, and it's only $1. Okay, so that we're going to do on Wednesday. The Birds Cards, which is at birdscards.com, we're doing this Thanksgiving pennant. We're going to do it slightly different because I'm going to show you how to do layers on this so we can do different colors. This is very pretty and it's sort of intricate, but I thought it would look good as layers, so we're going to do that. Also, while you're here, there are some nice place cards. This file is old. I didn't realize how old this file is. 2014. So it's one of those, it's retro, I guess, right? So that's the Birds Cards one. And then on Friday, for Freebie Friday, we're going to grab this file, the Turkey Tea Light card from Dreaming Tree 3dsvg.com. And if you have Google Eyes, I'm going to go desperately hunt for my Google Eyes. You can put Google Eyes on this, and it is free, and it's set up that it can be, once it's opened, put a tea light in there, but it's meant to be mailed because there's an envelope. So we're going to do that. And then on Saturday night, we're going to finally do the Googly Gobbler, which everybody knows, kind of my favorite. It's this like 3D turkey, so adorable. Let me see if I can find it. Here, he's here somewhere, and just so cute. Makes an awesome gift if you're visiting for Thanksgiving. Here he is. So we are going to do this guy on Saturday night. And hi, Ardeen. So this is a paid file. You may have purchased it in the past because we have done it, but he's just so much fun to make that I thought we'd do it again, and we'll do that on Saturday night. Okay. So that, just to kind of really quickly, today we're doing this pie card. We're going to talk about fonts. Tomorrow we're doing Birds Pennant, which is free at Birds Cards. Wednesday, we're doing the $1 turkey pop-up. Thursday, we're doing a wreath card that I designed myself. And Friday, we're doing the free tea light from Dreaming Tree. And Saturday, we're doing the Googly Gobbler, which is a paid file, $3.50. And I will send the link. Also, coming up, or this week, this Sunday, we're doing a gnome with Create and Escape. We're doing a gnome interchangeable sign. It's a wood sign where the hands of the gnome changes, so for the holiday season. So for instance, a snowflake for Christmas, or for January, a pumpkin for Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. And you swap them in and out with Velcro. There'll be kits available if you want to buy the kit. That is on Sunday. Also, don't forget that Create and Escape are having their giveaway that I'm helping her giveaway, and I am going to post a link for that. She's giving away a 9x9, I think, or 10x10 squared framed print art, like a sign that says fresh pumpkins with a old-fashioned vintage truck, so that she can get people to follow her on Facebook. She's trying to increase her following on Facebook. She thanks you. She saw some people already have followed her. The other thing I want to mention is that we are going to be doing the mug press as a giveaway for this month again, and we will probably start that the end of the week and run it for a couple weeks. Thank you, Deborah. And let's see, what was the other thing? So the giveaway from Create and Escape, our mug press giveaway. Also, Set your calendar. Please don't forget that on November 20th, which is the Saturday before, I think before Thanksgiving. I want to just double check. Yeah, Saturday before Thanksgiving, which that's that weekend when, nobody knows what to do with themselves. So we are going to have an epic Zoom call with all you guys, anybody who wants to join. We're going to do an epic Zoom call, and I'm hoping that I can also broadcast it on YouTube. And we are doing a Christmas winter card blitz. We're going to be doing we're blitzing out, and we're going to do all kinds of cards on that day. So mark your calendars for November 20th. Details will be discussed as we go forward. Okay. So let's get started on this project. So this project, as I've done it before, I wanted to bring in a new element into this project since we've done it before. This is a beautiful card. It's free and it's in Design Space, and we've done it before. It features a lot of layers, but also some pans. So I'm going to ungroup it so you can see. So this is the base of the card, and you'll notice this base has writing on it, and it's part of the card, you see. So when you put it here, it ends up being like the swirl of the whipped cream right here. So we need to create that on the base of the card. What does that mean for the sentiment? Well, it means that we can't do a written sentiment on the inside because this is the outside of the card. Normally, if we were going to do a written sentiment, we would put it like right here, and we could use our pens, that sort of thing. But we can't do that. So we are going to, excuse me, we are going to substitute a written sentiment that we're going to cut out. First, I wanted to cut it out in vinyl. I'm going to ungroup. And I wanted to use one of these 3 fonts that I found over the weekend. But when I cut them out in vinyl, they were so difficult to weed and really get off the page, especially these ones here with all the loops and everything. So difficult. So I decided that I'm going to try it in iron-on. So I got iron-on. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to use the mini press. But first I want to talk about these fonts. Okay, so here's the thing about fonts. Cricut has a ton of them, and I get a little lost. Somebody asked me, well, why would you use an image instead of creating your own font? And I'll be really honest with you, I get a little bit lost in the font section, and I'm waiting until they allow us to like favorite our fonts. But if you were going to add a sentiment, what you would do, just to give you kind of a rundown, the quickie thing, is that you would go over here to text, right? And you'd click on that, and then you'd have this little box, and you would type in, and this was what I decided to do for this card because it has all these pies on it. I said, okay, how about wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie this Thanksgiving? So I decided on what I wanted it to say, and so I typed in wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie this Thanksgiving. Did I spell it right? Yep, but I didn't put this. Okay, so there is our sentiment. All right. And you could cut this out like this, obviously, but there's a lot you can do here, as you can see. You can color it, you can center it, you can change where it shows up. You can also change the font. And this is where I think people get bogged down. I myself get bogged down here. So once you've put in your sentiment, if you go up here to font, you will see that there are, especially if you're an Access customer, subscriber, you'll see that there are tons and tons. I mean, just so many, many, many fonts that it gets a little bit hairy. And the thing is that unless you know the name of the font, you could be scrolling. Now, yes, there are places here you can filter. For instance, up here, you can just choose Cricut fonts, and that does filter it, but there's like 400 of them. So still, it's quite a bit. You can also do your own system ones, and that would be on your whatever, your desktop, whatever, your computer, your laptop, or whatever. Those are your system ones. And then there are also filters up here that you can say my filter, my fonts, multi, single, writing, and downloaded. You can do that. However, I wanted to show you how you would take, well, actually, look at that. I changed the font by accident. I don't want to do that. Okay, so what if you found a perfect font? No, you cannot. You cannot save you really can't. You can, your downloaded fonts, you could, filter by that if you wanted to, but it's not it's not the downloaded version. That's hard to explain. But so let's start with, let's say you go to an outside vendor, and this one, we're going to go to this place. It's called Creative Fabrica. And I don't usually recommend these people because I think they have a lot of great stuff, but it's so huge. Like, for instance, here, this all fonts collection, 460 fonts. I can't even deal with the fonts that are in Design Space. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with 400 more fonts. And here's another one, spectacular collection, 500 fonts. And also SVGs, monograms, mandalas. I mean, you will be spending the entire day just uploading these fonts into your system. So I tend to not buy these because it's just too much, and you'll get bogged down in it and everything. But every once in a while, I do find some nice fonts that are singular. So I usually will go here to fonts, discounted fonts. So I did find it's now not priced this way. Excuse me. These two here, actually these three here, I purchased when they were $1. And so you'll see some of them are $2, some of them $1.80. Now this one here, which is a beautiful font, I did purchase as $1, is now $5.60. To be honest with you, there are so many fonts that paying more than a couple of dollars for one is not worth it, to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it. You can also, let me also go here to a company called Dafont, DAFONT.com. All of the fonts at Dafont are free. Also here, hundreds and hundreds of files. So you have to be committed to spending some time here, and you can do them by type. So you can say, for instance, I want a Army stencil type of a font, and they will show you all these Army stencil fonts. Or you can choose old school, and they'll show you all the old school ones. So what you do here is you would download the file that you want to do. Same here with Creative Fabrica. So let's say we liked this mandala handmade. We'd go in there and we would purchase, oh, and see it says want to access all fonts, just $1, buy unlimited. No, we would purchase it as add to cart. See, what they're trying to do is get you to sign up for their monthly subscription. Everybody does subscriptions, but are we all good? I didn't see what was going on the comments. So personally, what you would do in this case, what I did was I purchased it. I went to my downloads and I downloaded it. So see here, it says winter snow, Christmas lights. I bought all of these for $1 and they are mine forever. And these are also commercial license fonts, so if that's concerned to you. And then what you would do is once you made that purchase, you would come here and you would download it. So let's download this one. It's called Christmas Kindness. And we are going to go to our downloads file page, which is right here. And we'll go to downloads and you will see I have a lot of downloads, but here you go down at the bottom here. It says winter snow. Here it is, Christmas Kindness, OTF. Okay. Now, fonts will appear in one of two file types, either OTF or TTF. TTF stands for True Type Font. So I always do the TTFs before I do OTFs, but if it only comes in OTF, I'll do that one. So what you're going to do is once you've downloaded them, you are going to click on that file, OTF or TTF. And sometimes, by the way, you will get more than one. So this one here is winter snow, and you'll see it has italic and the regular, and both OTF and TTF. There's really, for Cricut-ing, there's really not much of a difference between the OTF and the TTF, so it's kind of a personal preference. So I always just tend to choose the TTF, but I always need to check here to see, okay, there's an italic version and then there's a regular version. So if I want to put this onto my into my computer, I'm going to click on one. So let's click on this. And my computer, it's a Mac. I don't know if Windows do the same thing, but it comes up with this little box, and it says winter snow, and it says, regular, that's the kind of font, and it tells me it's not installed, and then I want to go and hit install font. Once it does that, it brings up all of my fonts and it's installing it. And here are all of my fonts. Now, some of these fonts I added, most all of these fonts I added. Some of them come with the system. Okay, so with my computer, these are ones that came with the system. You'll recognize them because they're like Arial, Times New Roman, those kinds of things. But if you want to add, this is what we're doing by adding the font, okay? And so you can get a little crazy here. As you can see, I have quite a few here. And if you need to, you can go through and delete the fonts that you liked at one time, but you don't necessarily liked, okay? Now, let's go to Design Space. So I've added in a couple of these fonts, paid or otherwise. And what I need to do is once I've added them in, I have to start up Design Space. So for instance, if you are going to download a font and you want to use it on a card that you're right now using that wasn't available before you started designing the card, you have to come back and like sort of save your work, get out of Design Space and then come back in, and then it will show up. Okay, so here we go. Wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie. Now we can, now that pretend like I downloaded it and I left and I came back. Now we can go up here to font, and we can just use system fonts if we want. And we can also type in, I'm going to type in Christmas. So this here is that Christmas kindness font. Here is Christmas light font, which actually I ended up using. So this is what I wanted to use. Now it still doesn't look like this one. But I will show you how to change it. So I wanted to see what it was going to look like in color, because I thought, oh, I love that green color. I'm going to cut it out of vinyl, use my smart vinyl, blah, blah, blah. Well, I ended up not liking the way it worked in vinyl, but I'm glad that I sort of kind of made this look better. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to alignment and center, which that looks better, but I'm afraid, yeah, you absolutely can, Paralita. Paralita is asking if you can use 2 fonts in 1 sentiment. I can show you how to do that. And so, yay. Hi, Ardeen. Wingdings. Yes, we can talk about that. Probably don't have time today to talk about wingding. I cannot never say that word. So, all right. So it is spaced nicely, but it's not going to fit on my card. And so I need to, wherever my card happens to be, did I delete my card? I'm going to show you where to get it anyway. All right. So I think I deleted my card. All right, so there it is. I can change the alignment. I can make it bigger or smaller. I can change the color like this. I decided to make it gold, so that might be a better thing. I tend to weld my sentiments, because by welding it, it appears exactly the way that I want it to appear, making it a whole lot easier to put together. Now, where do we find the card? Let's go to images. We're going to all images, and we're going to image sets. This card is located in image sets under the word celebrate. All right, and we're going to look for Celebrate the Day. That's the name of this, Celebrate the Day. We've been here before. We did the Tricks or Treat one from here. And you will find it here. This is a great little image set. I really love it. I come back to it all the time. So there it is. Give thanks. So just click on that, add it to your canvas. You're not going to make any changes to the card except for maybe size. It comes in as a 5x7 inch card. And you can, if you want to, change it if you want, but I didn't. If you want to cut it on the Joy, what you will have to do is resize it, but also take off this scoring and cut it like that. So you'd have to resize it. So this is going to be, let's arrange this to the front. This is going to be my sentiment on the inside of my card that I'm going to cut out in iron-on, right? And so that to me seems like a good size. So that's what I'm going to cut out. These others are just different fonts that I tried, but I like this one because when you're doing fonts, it's a nice stylistic thing for you to use 2 fonts, as Paralita suggested, one being a cursive or a script kind of a font, and the other one being like a block letter font. So I like that it has this very stylistic give thanks, and then on the inside has a block letter. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to cut it out. Now, a couple of things that I just want to remind you of. A lot of times people think, I downloaded this font, okay, and it's all filled in. So let's look at this one. So this one's all filled in. And I switched the font over here. Let's see. Happy Thanksgiving. I switched the font to writing. And unfortunately, when it writes, it doesn't fill in the letters. So this is normal, okay? So even if you're changing the style to a writing style, if you choose a writing style, I don't know if this is going to let me do it. No, it's not going to let me do it. This is going to cut out like this, but it's not going to write like this. It's going to create like a bubble letter, which you can either hand write it in or not use it and use something that the pen will do. Now, pen is not a thick pen, it's a thin pen, so that's why it's doing that. But these fonts are made for cutting and not for writing, if that makes sense, okay? So there's that. Also, keep in mind, so there's that. Keep in mind that the curlier or the more cursive your font, the harder it's going to be if you're cutting it out in vinyl or even in iron-on. The harder it's going to be if it's smaller to weed it. And I'm going to show you some weeding skills. So we're not going to cut this out. We are going to put it together. I'm going to move you down here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So we have the card and we'll put the card together, but here is an example. I cut a gazillion of these and look at all the loops in my design. So this says wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie this Thanksgiving. So what I did was I went through and I I weeded out all the inside. And look, the O has two inside pieces. Look at these little tiny things in the cursive for S and E. And even though I was being very patient, and I was, weeding the entire thing was monumentally hard. It was just difficult. So here, it started off okay, but then I'm like, okay, I'm missing the I, so I had to go back and I tried reverse weeding. And I was just like, it's driving me crazy. So instead, I chose to cut it out. And here is this one. I think it's the same one that we had. And this is on gold iron-on. So remember, when you're putting this on, you have to mirror it. It's very important if you're using iron-on. But iron-on is a good idea if you are working with these very, very tiny, teeny tiny fonts, because this part is a little sticky. Whereas, with the vinyl, you're usually pulling off the front, not from the back, if that makes sense. So here, look at how incredibly easy this is. And I haven't lost anything. I mean, I still have to go in here and weed through the letters, but honestly, this is so much less work. This is so much easier. So here you go. And I know it's backwards, but it is so much easier. Believe me, you're better off doing this. Now, if you have a way with vinyl and you think, I can do that in vinyl, do it in vinyl. Whatever works for you. I'm just saying, for me, someone who has been doing this for a while, just was ready to pull my hair out last night when I was getting ready for this. So here we go. Let's just weed a couple of these. I'm going to weed this one. I'm going to weed the one that's not cursive. Okay, so this one says, wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie, but I still have some weeding to do. I have some little dots here. It's small. Imagine doing this in vinyl. It was really frustrating. Just being honest. Okay. So this is the way that you would do it. If you don't like all of these little loops, and I don't blame you if you don't like the loops, you can switch to, that's why I switched to this non-cursive font, and I'll show you how that one looks. This one, you have very little weeding to do after the initial pull from here. All right, see that? Wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie. Okay, so all I need to do is take the inside of the O's out. And, oops. Just move these little pieces over here. And we are going to be able to iron this on. Really, we are ironing on to paper, which is so cool, isn't it? So we're almost ready. Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's so beautiful. I mean, I think it's the best choice out of all of these. So let's use that one, and let's put together this card. As I mentioned, this card consists of, this is the base. So the writing is on the front. We need that writing for the whipped cream effect. And by the way, just so you know, I used this. You only see the keyboard. All right, hold on. Okay, better? All right. I used a glitter, what is this? Glitter gel tip pen in silver to do the whipped cream effect. And then just so you can see these other ones, this one I used this color pen. It's jade. Okay, and it does all of this. It takes a while, all right? This one has no pen. This one has no pen. This one has pen, and it's supposed to be the pies, you see. And I used, where's my pen for that? Actually used raspberry in extra fine point, okay? So, when you're cutting this out, there is a lot of, put in this pen, take this pen out, that sort of thing. And you cut out all of these layers, and they go together in a very specific way. This is on the front, okay? Then it goes the jade. Then I believe it's dark. Let's check. Dark brown, and then the cream colored. Yes, that's right. Then the pumpkin colored like this, and then this, which I have it backwards. I have it backwards? Do I have it backwards? I do. There we go. So there is actually the correct order. I just want to make sure I don't have this. I do not have this in the right place. All right. If you have to, go back to your original card and see how it's lining up, because we want to see all of the colors. And we want to make sure that it looks right. And this does not look right again. So here it is. Here's the way it looks. And then it's going to get put on like this. Okay, we'll glue this all together. I can show you how to do that. And then we're going to open it up and do the iron-on. So let's do the gluing first because it's easy. Once you have the correct order, So there's your base. You don't really need your base to start off. So you got white, jade, dark brown, light brown or cream, and then pumpkin. So you can do this a number of ways. You can either start from the back and move forward, but I like to start at the front like this and put the glue here. I don't have where's my, oh, it's over there. Okay. This card with the writing, you do need to be very careful about putting just a little tiny bit of glue around where the writing is, and there's a lot of loops. So just go slowly and do it this way, right? And around the edge, of course, and a little bit around the pies so that they'll lay flat. But the most important part is right here, making sure you get everything. All right. All right. Then we're going to take the green, make sure you flip it, and we're going to line it up like this. And the goal is not to see any of the prior color. So our prior color is white. So I'm pressing that down. Now I got to do the glue on this one. Less glue, obviously, because less, of the cursive showing through. That's what we want. And then we take this brown and we flip it like this. Okay. Next up is the cream colored or the light brown. All right. See how I'm not seeing any of the previous color there. And then the last, before we put the card base on, is the pumpkin. Okay. There you go. Now, we could just put this on if we wanted to, and I think that would be a good idea. So we'll do that, or you can wait until after you do your iron on. It's up to you what you want to do. We're not actually going to be ironing on to the card on the inside, but not the actual front of the card. So let's have a look and see. I'm just pressing down. If you have a brayer, that would work. But there is the cutest card, isn't it? And look at all of but you do need to be very careful about putting it together, like the layers together, okay? So there you go. Now we have our sentiment, which we are going to put on the inside here. And today I'm going to use my mini. And I did check, and I believe I need to be on number 2 for this. And I am also going to get my little, if I can find it. I don't see my, I have a little easy press because I want to, I want to protect my thing, but I don't see it around here. So I think rather than trying to do this on my mat, which will cause problems with my mat, I am going to use this book, the U-line book. I'm using the U-line book as my mat. If you can't find your mat, don't chance it and say, it won't cause problems, because if you're using a what do you call this, a self-healing mat, they will get ruin, basically. They get all like wavy. All right, and just gonna look at this while I'm waiting for my thing to heat up. Make sure that I have taken out all of the pieces I do not want. And actually, there's a little tiny piece in the A, so I can do that. All right. All right, so I just heard my Easy Press, my mini. It's hot. I'm going to figure out where I want to put this. I like to put it up sort of high so that there's a little room. The thing I like about using iron-on too is that it's kind of sticky. So you can kind of like just sort of stick it where you want, and then you can pick it up and sort of, I mean, it's not super sticky, but it's just enough to hold it so you can see, did I line it up correctly? That sort of thing. And then we're going to take the Easy Press that's now green, and we are going to just take it and start. I move it around like this. This is the Easy Press Mini. If you don't have one of these, you could certainly do it with your iron or even with your Easy Press. Somebody was asking me what size Easy Press I have. I actually use a 9x9. I have all the sizes. I use a 9x9 and this mini. And I like the mini for these smaller projects. Oops. Just gonna see. Yep, it's starting to come off. Let's see. Now, the thing you have to be careful, though, is when you're working with this mini, A, it's super hot, and you can get burned very easily. And B, you have to make sure you've done the entire project, okay? Because it's really, when they give you like 15 seconds, they mean 15 seconds of heat, regular heat on there, okay? So then we are just going to roll off this. And there is our card. It really does, Sandra. It really, really does. And let's finish this card up by making the envelope that comes with it. I am going to use this envelope that I cut out. It's two-sided, and it came from this Die Cuts with a View Falling Leaves. I got this at Joann's. Don't know if they have any more, but I did buy it online. And there are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you want to send this in the mail, you will probably need to attach a label, which is also great to do on your Joy, but I didn't get around to that part yet. So the label part, but I like to use my patterned paper that I have. I have a lot of it in like the sort of Thanksgiving colors. So if you don't want to, this will fit into a 5x7-inch envelope. And there is the envelope, and there is our card, just like that. Here we go. And it goes right in there. Isn't that beautiful? So either bring it to Christmas, Thanksgiving dinner, or you can mail it. But if you mail it, I would probably not write on this. I would probably put a little. Oh, yeah. The card shop. Yeah. Yeah. Susan saying the card shop at Cricut Express. The only problem with that is that I'm having a really hard time. I bought a couple of card racks last year, and somehow the one I want to use has disappeared into the oblivion. So I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to go looking for it, because I sent Owen out to look for it in the garage and then the basement, and he came back with not having it. So that's an ongoing story. Anyway, so there is our project for today. Give thanks card with our iron-on sentiment, wishing you joy, love, and lots of pie. So this is my sentiment. I wrote it up. If you wanted to go look at for sentiment, you could do that. I did also do it in iron-on. You can do it in whatever you want. Okay, so that is all. I'm going to give you the file for this. However, I cannot give you the file in the font, because even though the font is free, it won't allow me to share something outside of Design Space. Okay, so I will switch this to a different font and share the file. Okay. Yes. So thank you all for coming today. This is Rita from Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Tomorrow, be sure to join me again here on YouTube for Birds Pennant. We're doing Birds cards, Thanksgiving pennant. It's free. And there's also a couple other files in the download. There's place cards and a little pop-out card that, if I have time, I will also cut out for you to see. So do come. Did I get the boo card fixed? It is fixed. And can we just talk about that for just a second? So what paper did I use for this one? This is all Michael's 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. Okay, 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, and this was from Die Cards with a View. For the boot card, just so that you know, what you're going to do is you're going to fold it exactly like this in half, like this, and then you come over here and you fold it in the X, like this. So you're going to have a score here and then the X, all right? Then you're going to push these side pieces in like this, and that will create the arrow. Now, when people were saying, oh, this isn't laying flat, it's not going to lay flat. This is the part that's going to go on the inside of the card. It's not going to lay completely flat because you're going to put that other piece in there. But this is the part that I think everybody was getting tripped up on. It's a fold it both ways, and then the X like this. Then these go in this way and that way, okay, to make sort of an arrow. The arrow gets glued to the inside, okay? That's how it goes. All right, everyone. I hope that clears that up, and we will see you again tomorrow for another edition of Cricut Chat with Miss Rita. Love you all. I hope that you can join me this week. We're going to have a lot of fun. Take care. Bye.